Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the house of David. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth in righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that passed away serving the Lord, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall arise first. I want to do this video, to let you brothers know out there, when you're in this thing, you don't have to make your life any more complicated on purpose. You got a lot of men out here that think that being popular is a symbol of wickedness. Being well liked by people outside of the truth shows that you're off. And I'm here to tell y'all that it's not true. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm Mr. Popular. I'm not sitting here saying I'm the most popular Israelite, in the world. But what I'm saying is don't take away, don't lose certain things that you don't have to lose. If you have a certain level of popularity, that means that you have access to a lot of souls that can see how the Spirit moves through you and can possibly be attracted to the truth indirectly. Because you have to think about it. This is a very spiritual walk. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Right? One of my workers that I saw today, we were talking about the Lord. And he knows more or less what I'm into. But we have deeper conversations than sitting here talking about the white man's the devil. We have conversations that are spiritual. And this is a person that I believe the Lord can use because he has a level of sincerity and big heart. You know what I'm saying? And how would I win him over if I don't show him, that you can be into this thing that we're into and be brotherly, be good people. Because if the representation that he has of being in the truth is standing on the streets and yelling at white people, so-called white people, then somebody like that will never come into this thing. And you can't blame him sometimes. This world teaches love, a false perception of love. And a lot of Israelites teach hate. And we can't teach hate. We have to teach a balance. We have to teach love and hate. It's like when we read the scripture, hate the evil and love the good, we stop at hate the evil. We can't do that. We have to be balanced. But the point of the video that I'm making is, when don't shun your popularity. Those of you that are popular, those of you that have a lot of, like I said, access to a lot of people that listen to you. That can make you a vessel to either teach people the word directly, or you don't even have to straight up teach them. You know how many people just already know what I'm about that's not in the truth? They know what I'm about. And Lord willing, when that time comes, because it's not going to come on their time or my time, it's going to come on the Lord's time. When it's their time to come in the truth, they're going to come in the truth. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. Then we can all partake in a lot of things. Friends of mine that want to hang out, but it might happen to be the Sabbath or it could be a Passover. Now I can hang out with my friend that I would have hung out with if it wasn't Passover or the Sabbath or something. You know what I mean? You have to, when you come into this thing, right, you have to remember that the Lord is first. And nobody else can tell you whether you're doing that or not but you. Because you got a lot of guys out there that'll look at a picture of a brother hanging out or some shit and say, oh, the Lord ain't with this guy. He doesn't give a fuck about the Lord. You know, like, you can read my fucking mind through a goddamn picture. You know? Trust me, it's been done to me, so I know. That's a big thing in this truth. Trying to spot who's about the Lord and who's not. And you'd be surprised how many brothers behind the cameras that's not sitting here putting on a big fucking show on camera are really about the Lord. Because you got a lot of good brothers out here, man. A lot of brothers with good hearts and really, you know, want to do this thing and do this thing right. But then you got a lot of guys out there that put on big shows on camera, and they are the opposite of holy or scriptural or doing the right thing. These are men that I would never call an example of how to serve the Lord. A lot of guys out there, man. A lot of them. You know? I think we got a lot of, and especially in this truth, we got a lot of tough guys and shit. A lot of guys that you know, you go on video, you go on camera, and you want to tell people, oh, fuck this one, fuck that one, fuck him, you know, he's evil, you know. It's too much negativity, and it's too much basically evil. You know, a lot of hatred among us in this truth. That's why you don't see brothers that are really in the spirit. You don't see them doing a lot of anger speaking, a lot of hate speech and all that shit. You know, yes, homosexuality is evil, and we're going to prophesy against it. You know, yes, the so-called white man is evil, the ones that are Edomites. You know, because you got a lot of people that might identify as white, and they're really Israelites. You know, but most important thing that I want y'all that's listening to take away from what I'm saying is that we have to be more spiritual, but we also have to bear in mind. We have to bear in mind that to be spiritual, you don't have to be corny. You know, don't shun your popularity. Use it as a tool to push the Lord, and you don't have to use it as a tool to directly teach people that don't want to learn. You know, because 9 times out of 10, at a certain age, people in the world already have an idea where the rest of their life is going to go. And standing on the streets teaching is not where a lot of people think that their life is going to go. I didn't think that that's where I was going to go in life. You know, I had other people tell me that they saw me becoming a preacher before I did. They just didn't have this idea of it. You know, but you know, in this thing, you know, like I said, you just don't have to be a weirdo, man. You don't have to sit here, you know, and eat your fucking boogers or some dumb shit like that. Like when you're in this truth, you pretty much, you know, you can use the tools that the Lord gave you, like rap. You know, I used to rap, and I kind of still do. You know, I started writing stuff recently. You know, you can do that. Don't let nobody tell you can't use your gift. If you can rap, motherfucker, rap. If you can sing, sing. You know, and somewhere in the credits to your music, put the Lord. You know, put some type of shout out to the Lord. You know, and then maybe someday somebody's gonna look at your fucking CD and be like, oh, interesting. Who's Abanawa, you know, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is interesting. Let me look further into it, you know, and then they'll maybe work their way to the truth. You don't have to always be a direct influence to bring people to the truth by teaching them. You know, you can show people how you operate. I'm going to tell you how recently a brother came into the truth through, I'm not going to mention no names, another camp was telling this brother's wife that he was of another nation, and they were getting ready to get a divorce until a mutual friend stepped in and said, wait a minute, I know an Israelite. So he reached out to me and asked me, is this true? Does your belief say that this this is the situation. And come to find out, the brother came. Now he comes to camp whenever he can. Been having a little personal issues lately, which I'm not gonna, tell another man business. But the Lord had it where I have a friend who's a so-called Christian, even though he's kind of like one of them kind of borderline gang member type brothers that just believes in God. You know what I mean? You know how that is. You got a lot of religious dudes that don't go to church, or they might go to church, but they don't have that faggoty Christian spirit. But it was a mutual friend that hooked me up with a brother. Now he's learning the truth, trying to come along. You know what I mean? And this is a brother that I've been around too, that I never tried to teach him because he never, my thing is about teaching this truth. Unless you're at camp, I don't try to push it on people, because people get the impression you're trying to put your ways on them. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, that's kind of all I wanted to say. Don't those of you brothers that are coming to this truth popular, you don't have to do things to make people hate you, or let it come natural. When the scripture's talking about you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, let that come naturally. Don't make yourself a hateable person. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to help you any. The scriptures say many shall be offended. It doesn't mean for you to purposely go out there and offend people. Many shall be offended means they will be offended. You don't have to, let it be organic. Don't sit here and force it. You know what I mean? But anyway, with that, I'm going to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the house of David. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth and righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that passed away serving the Lord, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall arise first. Shalom.